William, tell me.
Michael.
So, William was just saying how he hates that I've been calling him every single
Every
day.
singular day. I
But
get no
don't get me
dance
wrong.
to myself.
Don't get me wrong. I've been calling him at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and he is still asleep.
I'm a night owl.
Yes, that's not
Fuck you,
my
because
fault.
I'm not gonna swear on our podcast.
No, I'm not gonna. No more swearing. That was a complete accident. But you can't blame me for calling you at 2 p.m. when most people should be awake by that time.
Unlike you, I'm a night owl. Okay?
Okay, I'm a night
I'm
owl
more
too.
awake now than I am in the morning.
That's okay.
That's why when I go and get a job, I'm going to get asked for the night shift. Because, dear God, they aren't going to have me working the morning shift. Dear God, I would rather close the shop than open it.
See, I don't have a problem with you being a night owl, but 2 p.m. should still be your 10 a.m. Right? Your nighttime should be at least getting up at 12, maybe 1. So then 2 p.m. is your
Nah,
7 or 8.
I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. So I was thinking earlier as well is that we brought our sister onto the team, and seeing how that goes, see what we can do and progress with that. But you know what I haven't found out yet, William? What the hell are you doing? What's your role in this? You're just being the brother?
I'm the interesting person. I'm the actually interesting person in the family.
Oh, I see now. You're the one who's going to be everything.
Yeah, basically, I'll help where I can. Question: can you still not solve one of these?
No, I can't solve one of them. I didn't spend months on end trying to figure out how to solve one.
It didn't take me months.
Maybe weeks, but you spent there looking at that paper, remembering all the mathematical equations, and now you're able to do it.
It took me like 2 days.
I still have never looked at one of those pieces of paper.
It doesn't even take paper. I learned to solve this one on my own.
Because you already had the mathematical formula for the original.
No, it doesn't even matter.
I think
Especially with this one. This one's way easier than all of them. Dear God, don't get me started on the 2x2. That's like harder than a 3x3 somehow.
No.
Actually, the reason why this one's easier is because it's basic movements that are easy to comprehend. I think even you could solve this one.
Maybe. You might have to walk me through it and guide me because you're smarter than me.
See, if it's mixed up like this, you see it?
Yep.
All you do is you go, whoa!
Whoa! How did you do that?
I want to throw myself through a window.
Like a plane window? Like,
if I did it through a plane window, I'm killing everyone else who's on the plane.
not necessarily. I mean, they could.
Well, that is one way to get rid of one of your fears, Michael.
Throwing myself out of a plane? Go skydiving? Heights?
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about throwing yourself out of a plane. I'm talking about just being on a plane.
I've been on a plane before. You know that.
Or a pilot. You want to know what fear you'd be getting rid of?
What?
Fear of dying alone. You're a pilot.
You think I have the fear of dying alone?
It's a joke because if you're a pilot, you can just purposely crash a plane with all the people in there.
But you're not.
Then you're not dying alone.
I see what you're saying. Encore. So we got a hate comment, William. We have our first hater.
Really? Hold on. Where's the comment? Hold on.
On what video?
It's on
video? I
YouTube.
just realized.
It's on
It's
YouTube.
on YouTube.
Yep. So go to YouTube.
Alright. What
and
YouTube video?
then it's on one of the videos that blew up recently. I think it has 5,000 views. Go check that one out. I think it has the comment on there.
There's like 2 different ones with 5,000.
Okay, well, click on one of them, and the hate comment basically says that we're nerds, but read the whole comment out loud when you find it.
All here is nerds.
Read it out loud.
Nerds talking about nerds. All I hear is nerd and another nerd talking about nerd stuff.
Yep. I guess we're nerds, William. How does that make you feel?
What was this one even about?
I think it was one of the goofy things that we were talking about. I'm not sure which one. Tell me. What were we talking about?
Oh, there's nothing even nerd about that. Like, what?
Here's the thing with haters, William. Set your camera back down.
That is funny as fuck, though. There's nothing nerd about that. That was just us sitting there talking randomly about how stupid are you on a scale of 1 to 100.
Oh yeah, we were talking about numbers, and then we were talking about Iraq children. I don't know how that's nerd stuff.
Oh, no. The reason why Iraq children got involved is I said, oh, 12 because you have 12 Iraq children in your basement?
Yeah, of course. And so, here, let me tell you the one thing about haters and why I like haters. Haters
You're gonna laugh at them?
do what?
You're gonna laugh at their comment because you don't give a crap about it?
Yes, but also, here's the logical standpoint. Haters are going to be your biggest supporters. Yes, that might sound weird and interesting. Let me tell you why. Haters are going to be your biggest supporters because they're going to watch every single piece of content to try and develop an understanding of who you are, so then they can try to attack you as a person, right? And haters are just people who want to hate on you for doing something that they don't have the balls to do themselves. So, if anything, they see something in us that they hate about themselves, and so they want to hate on us for it. So, I love haters. Thank you to all the haters we have. What do you think about that?
I don't know, plus, if we get haters, we get to read their funny comments that they will leave.
I know. I think they're so funny. I think I even liked the.
Yeah, you did. I saw the like.
So we also had a few other comments. So on the other episode that blew up, I think there was
Had 5,000.
yeah, and had like almost 100 likes. Anyway, point is 2 people said, "Did he say hi or something else?" And I thought that was I thought that was so funny.
High or high, like high or is that man high on crack?
Yeah, something like that. And I thought, how do they get that? Because you said this was when we were talking about how you were so kind to me when you were younger, and you said kind, and I said kind, but they thought we said hi. So I almost left a comment replying to them.
We're just kinda high.
Yeah, I almost left a comment to them.
Where he just looks high in the photo. Like I just took a picture and he's just sitting there looking high in the photo. I'm just like, he looks high.
Yeah, and so I almost left a comment, and you know what I was gonna say?
Always high. Like, dear God, that cat is never not high somehow. We don't even give him catnip.
Maybe he needs catnip to not be high.
You're right. Thor was just fat and was lazy and just had his head against the wall, and it just made him look high because it just looked like something a high person would do. Just
Yeah,
spacing out.
definitely high. That's exactly what a high person looks
Because
like.
I've had friends who were just sitting there high and just doing the exact same thing my cat was doing, and it's just funny. Still love my cat though, even though he's a fat piece of loaf. Like, dear God, he's thick. He's like 20 pounds.
That's an
That is
overweight
fat
cat.
for-
That is.
And I've seen fatter cats though. Like, dear God, I've seen fatter. But dear God, they're still adorable.
Yeah. I think it depends on the amount of weight, right? 20, maybe a little too much, but maybe 15, 12, that might be a good, too much, but still.
At least, if they're fat and you decide to pick them up, to sit there and pet them, you're also getting a workout while sitting there petting your cat. Am I wrong?
You're gonna start curling your cat by the arms and legs. Ugh, ugh, 1 rep cat, run kitty cat, 2 kitty cat, 3 kitty cat. And you just keep going. They're meowing the whole time.
Meow. Meow. Just keep California cat language. 1 meow, 2 meow, 3 meows.
Yeah. Then you start incorporating them into the rest of your workout, so it's not just curls. Now you're doing those Russian twists, and they're like meow, 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 meow. And then instead of playing music, the cat is the music, so you can just shake it. Yes.
Oh, that is funny. I got a funny story for you.
Oh, please share.
So, this man walks into the doctor's office and tells the doctor, I would like to have my oh wait, no, shouldn't I start somewhere else in this? Never mind. I need to start this over. Hold on. So
Take your time.
I messed up the entire joke because I actually forgot to do like the very first part of it.
Fun.
Just like, oh, I messed up. So this man decides to go to the doctor's office because he has way too long of a because too much blood is going there, and now he has a really bad stutter. So he goes into the doctor's office, tells the doctor, hey, I would like you to cut off some of my dick so it's not so long. And the doctor's just like, oh, all right. And so he gets through the surgery and he goes off with a smaller dong. And so he comes back like a week later and he's just like, Doc, I want my normal dick size back because now no woman wants me. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. If you can't tell what happened, he took the rest.
He put it on himself. Mid-surgery, too. He was laying down on the table. The other guy, yeah, the other guy was laying down on the table, and he was like, like mid-surgery. Yes, I thought that'd be funny.
For about the next minute, William's audio has cut out.
There was a joke Mother told me earlier today. Let's see, how did it go? I'm not sure.
Here's a reenactment of what William said. The family group
Just
chat
go
just
for it.
called. And as he continues to carry on talking about the group chat and how it has interrupted,
Oh, I blocked all of my notifications.
Michael will only realize that the audio has cut
No,
out
it's fine.
later.
You know, let's bring that up. We have a family group chat. Okay? You heard me right. A family group chat. Why? Why do we have a family group chat? We live in different states. Me, my sister, my brother, my uncle.
By the
My
time they
other-
try to fix the situation with the
Exactly.
audio, it has already fixed itself. Then William decides to go on this rant about how it is very important to talk to your family members. And I choose to sit here quietly as the amazing older brother that I am, just to sit here and listen. So take this quick moment of silence to pray or do whatever you do, crazy people.
Well, the thing is a lot of people don't really talk to their family very much or very often, at least, especially after they move out of the house, and or even
Oh,
other family members, right? So two
I
adults,
think
right? So
it's really
it's
important to keep in contact with family,
of,
even if it's at least like once a week.
of course. Can you try speaking up, William? You seemed a little quiet there,
Oh, sorry.
but you're still pretty quiet. Anyway, point is,
Is that better?
no, on my end, you're still very quiet, but it's okay. We can figure it out. As I was saying, is with the family group chat, yeah, we all get to stay connected. And for the last week, me and my sister have called the family group chat every single day for the last week, and a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, and me and Emily played poker last time.
Yes.
And you didn't even join in.
Can you,
What we should do after this is we
William,
should see if
William, real
Philip-
quick, can you bring the camera closer to you to try to fix your volume?
I can't. It's all the way right here. I'm all the way back here. So you know where the desk is normally for the room?
Yes.
That's where my phone is. It's at the very edge.
What
I don't have anything else to really put it anywhere else.
No,
Right
it's
now
okay.
it's perfect.
It's okay. I'm just saying that it's hard for me to hear you, which means on the video it's hard for people to hear you, and I don't want that. I want people to be able to hear your Oprah-like voice and vocals.
You make me tell a different using a different accent, you motherfucker.
Hey, I thought you said you weren't gonna swear, eh?
Hey, I did not swear. That wasn't a swear word.
Alright.
I said motherfucker. I did not say.
Do you know what it's like to be a Scottish? Maybe that's not Scottish.
9.
9? Isn't that?
9 means no in German.
Yes. But you were using a Scottish accent.
Oh yes, I do. I know how to do a Scottish accent. I also know how to do a British accent. Like, all I want is a bottle of water, mate. Like. I just see him staring.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you know what it's like to be a British man?
wait, here's the thing. I'd rather be Scottish because then I can just go down to the pub, be offered a drink, and sit there and drink all my mates under the table.
Being Scottish is in our blood. So what does that mean? We can outdrink anyone else in the world.
Actually, I sat there and I was having a conversation with some friends, and they're just like, "Man, this is your first time sitting here having a drink." I'm just like, yeah. Because the reason why is, because we were sitting there drinking water, and they're just like sitting here, just like, I bet I can drink faster than you because I've sat here and drank alcohol very fast. I'm just like, nah, I can still beat you. And so we sat there and had multiple races back to back of who could drink water quicker. I won. Wasn't hard either. I think we did like 10 different bottles of water. And when they got to like the 5th one, they started not being able to drink the entire thing before I could fully finish mine. And so I beat them really badly, and so they're just like, man, you're going to be one of the best drinkers out there for drinking fast. So I don't know about holding your liquor, though.
I used to be one of those people who used to take water bottles and put them in here and just...
Yeah, I know. I've learned that skill, not fully. But, like, I can sit there and kind of do it, though.
Just take this at will, but all you gotta do is open your throat.
No, really. I'm sorry. I don't suck as many dongs as you.
You just gotta open your throat, tilt your head back, and
I love joking with you, especially because I can be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't suck as many dicks as you. Like, how am I supposed to have that ability if you're the one sitting there taking all the men?
Yeah, Emily's taking the women. I'm taking the men, which leave you with no one
I'm left with nothing.
except Mr. Lefty and Mr. Righty.
No, I got the frying pan. Turn into the pansexual. I still don't know why people made jokes where they're just like, man, when a pansexual comes into your house, make sure you hide all your pans. I'm just like, that's
sure
not
you-
what it means.
Make sure you hide all your kitchen equipment.
Yes, the whisk will be the next one on the table.
I am whisk sexual.
Whisk sexual?
I'm cup actual. I'm blender
Cup.
sexual.
So I do have a question for you. Like, what is your take on transgender, gays, lesbians, bis, all of like the groups in LGBTQ, furries, like everything,
Yeah, so
Right.
that's a.
and other people of like religion?
I think that any in what you just said, religion, anyone that's quote unquote normal, which is man on woman and woman on man, I think they should kill themselves and become either transgender, pansexual, a furry, a cat, a lizard, a snake. I mean, I think everyone should be part of the LGBTQ. Okay, now to be honest, that's not true. But what is true is, do I have an opinion about that? I think that the people within that community, okay, sure, you guys do you. Am I personally part of it? No. Do I support you guys? I don't care. I don't care about a lot of things though. So you guys do you. Leave me out of it. If I want to go experiment, go try new things, I might ask you guys for help, of course. Like, but it's nice that there's a community. What I don't like is that traditional social media is pushing for this and making people want to and feel the need to be a part of it.
Okay, I see what you're talking about. See, my take on it is I don't care who you are, what you think, what you believe. If you're sitting there pushing it onto me or you're mean to animals, I hate people who are rude to animals and sit there and purposely hurt them. If you're someone who hurts animals, are a dick to me, trying to push stuff onto me, or a criminal, I hate you. I don't care who you are. If you're nice to animals, you're not a criminal. Like, yeah, some criminals can redeem themselves. Like, they might go and rob someplace, or they might have murdered someone because they were basically forced to do it. But they can still redeem themselves. If it was like rape or child molestment, they deserve to rot in hell. Like, no redeem from that. Like, dear God. But if you're trans, lesbians, anything, you're fine. If you're not sitting there pushing it onto me, you might be a Buddhist, Christian, anything. If you're not pushing your religion onto me or your beliefs onto me, and you're nice to animals, you don't have a problem in my book.
William, I started writing this book. Don't know if it's ever going to get finished. Don't know if I'm ever going to continue it. But I was writing this book at one point. And this relates to what you were saying about hurting animals, because I imagine my life in two perspectives, okay? There's one perspective, the life I'm living now, which is rich and successful, or the life that I was going to live, which was mass murder. And most people already think I have done that. But the book starts off like this. The urge, the sensation.
Hold on. What do you mean?
Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point of how that is my conclusion of the opposite life that I was supposed to live. So this book, right? Oh, that's a great title, Opposite. Anyway, so the book is going to be a tale about the opposite version of what my life could have been if I decided to take that route. So when I was younger, when I was petting my cat or any animal, for example, and this is very important for you to hear, is that I was petting the cat, and every time I put my hand near its head, I would have the urge to just squeeze and blow its head off. But my hand would never squeeze its head. But I so desired to just but I couldn't. My body wouldn't allow me to. So, in that belief, I believe that if I chose to follow through with that, I would become a mass murderer. And so I'm creating a whole story about it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. It's a little wild, but I think it's such a turning point in my life that I have to make a book about the opposite.
Oh
Actually, funny enough, people think I am a murderer now.
Why do people think you're a murderer now?
Because I have this cold gaze, and I hold myself in a very confident demeanor, and I speak in a very concise and clear tonality, and people just are afraid of me. That's all. People are just afraid of me.
Some of the conversations we've had, which were very like weird and fucked up, I wasn't even sitting there just like, oh, he wouldn't be a mass murderer. Everyone has random thoughts like this. And randomly research random stuff online. Dear
But I
God,
mean,
the amount of
even now,
information you
William,
get.
I walk by people on the street and I'm like, what would it be like to kill them? How would I rip their body apart? How would I torture them? Limb by limb? Toenail by toenail? Ripping it off? Scalp? I mean, I don't know. And I think about that and I think, man, I could put this in my book. And then I could start imagining this whole second life of mine.
Oh my God. Like, I understand, like, sitting there, like, pretending to plan, like, a random kidnapping on someone you don't even think you even know. Like, there's a random thought that's appeared in your head, like breaking into a prison or robbing a bank. But actually sitting there, walking down the street, looking at a random person, being like, huh, how could I kill them? That is weird. You need therapy.
And get away with it. Make them suffer as well. I don't know. The thing is with me, I'm a very kind, humble human being, right? I don't ever like hurting people, right? Not with my words, not physically, but then in this secondary life, it's all about.
That would be more of like a actual murder mystery book you could write.
No, not a murder mystery. It's a
No, no,
straight
no.
up
Let me explain.
masochist book.
Let me explain. Let me explain. Because what you could do is you can basically set it up to kind of be like a murder mystery book where you're sitting, because with those thoughts you can sit there and make a brilliant murder mystery. Because what you can do is, instead of having your character be like just a random person who's sitting there like murdering people, you can have him actually be the detective who's being put on all these cases. So you're sitting there double checking if you left anything there, and then the readers, by the end of the book, you make sure you write it 10 different books. So each book has a different ending, like one where he gets away with it, one where he gets almost away with it but still gets caught and now is on the run, or gets killed or gets captured, and all these other like different endings. You have 10 of them. This next part I wish you didn't put on the podcast because it would be funnier, because if you actually do it, then you can sit there and trick everyone. Or sit there and write 9 books with 9 different endings. And then once everyone actually figures it out, and they're just like, oh my God, look at all these different 9 endings. And you're like, but there's supposed to be 10. Has no one found out the 10th one? And that's the trick. There's no 10th book. There's no 10th ending.
It's a
But still, like, a year later, after people sat there and searched, and you come out with like a book, like the entire series in all together with all the different endings in one book, that's when you add the 10th ending. Which could
interesting
be
marketing strategy.
completely random or lead into a different book series, like have it lead into like a reincarnation series.
You know, I think that point that you bring up about having one book lead into the next book, or the next series, or the series lead into the next series. And I'm not saying all of these books are in a series. I'm saying that one series influences you to read my other books, and my other books influence you to read my other books. How do I do that? Hmm. I'll
Like,
figure that out.
for one of them, you could basically have it basically be like the detective that I was talking about, and have the ending basically kind of be like on a cliffhanger, and then the next book that you come out with take from like the very like end of that and continue what you left off on, or change it completely. Like basically have it like, and then boom, gets hit by a truck, but then like leave it on like a mystery, saying that he's still alive, but no one knows where he went. Leaving it on a mystery, and then sending him to like this other world where murder's normal, and then creating a whole crime syndicate in this new place.
It's a very interesting take on natural selection. The murder is normal. That's an interesting take on natural selection. Everyone can get murdered at any point, and the only people that survive are the strongest murderers, right? That's a ooh, what an interesting take on a book. But all of these
Well, no.
ideas,
The reason why I said because murder's normal in this place is due to the fact that, let's say, in like most like fantasy like isekai stuff, they're sitting there like murder's normal there due to the fact that there's bandits, monsters, and all this other stuff. That's why I said, oh, murder's normal there.
well, I like the way I took it. But what's
Or you
interesting,
can make it into like a reverse isekai by basically making it to where instead of dying from the truck, he barely survives and is sitting here treating himself when a random event happens in the world, and that's why he got hit by the truck. Portals start appearing all over the world, basically throwing it into a reverse isekai, which a reverse isekai is basically where the monsters come to Earth.
ooh, what about this idea? The cliffhanger is basically him falling asleep, right? Because he's dying. And the next book, right, or the next series, is the dream that he's in.
Before he wakes up to realize it's not a dream. Everything that happened in like the actual dream is basically happening in real life, except for the fact that he went to a fantasy world, and it's actually just a reverse isekai. But
I don't know
the
what
dream.
isekai is.
Okay, isekai means you died and then get transferred into another world, or just transferred into another world. That's what isekai means. And reverse isekai means instead of getting transferred to another world is transferred to Earth. And like monsters are now spawning and attacking, and people are getting powers to fight back, but the normal military power is not useful. And so now it's in a chaotic mess, and now there's hunters. And these hunters are taking control with their power and sitting there toppling governments now.
So,
And there's so many different things like this, and you can do so much with it. Like if we sat there and like made a book series together, what you could do is you could be the one sitting there writing it, because I'm not someone who can sit there and be writing the entire thing.
yes, you
I
are.
can come up with brilliant ideas, but like I cannot sit in front of a computer for hours typing out what's going to happen next.
I think you can. You just have to develop the skill to do it. But point is, you know, I think there's this crossroad I've been at for a while recently. And I think this only happened when I got really high. And I thought about this, and it was that, okay, maybe I don't want to be a model. Maybe I don't want to be an actor. Doing business is fine, but the real thing that might bring me happiness is writing, right? I write a lot of I used to
If
write a
you
lot of
do
poetry.
write, you still want to have another job that you can fall back on to, just in case your writing is not being successful for a certain amount of time, especially at the very beginning, because you never know if it's actually going to sit there and earn you money at to begin with. So you still want to have a secondary job you have until maybe, oh, I'm earning millions upon millions from this, and I'm able to sit here and live for another decent amount of time so I could write another book.
No, there's no fallback plan because, in my opinion, if you have a fallback plan, you have doubts, and doubts plant seeds of the ability to
No,
fail.
no, no. Having a fallback plan is always good,
because let's say even if you're sitting there confident, you're striving for what you want, you are fully confident, you can still fail, which is not bad to fail. You just don't want to be like sitting there succeeding, but then, oh crap, I don't have enough money to even sit here and continue with what I want to do. The fallback plan is just there so you can sit there and earn money so you can continue with your main goal. It's the same thing with sitting there having a savings account just in case something happens. Like, let's say you get in a car crash and your car insurance doesn't pay for the entire total of what happened. So you at least have extra money to sit there and be like, all right, there's that, but I can still sit here and live how I've been living normally.
Maybe. I just That's just the belief I have. But yeah, I was thinking maybe I'm not supposed to be an actor and model. Maybe I'm supposed to be a writer. But at the same point, it's like, okay, I've written a lot of poetry.
As being a writer, you can always become like a writer that becomes also a director, because a lot of writers can become a director and direct the book that they originally wrote and turn it into something amazing, or sometimes it flops.
I agree. But, I write a lot of poetry, but I've slowed down recently. But I don't know if I really want to pursue writing. I don't know if that's something I'm interested in. But I know I've definitely want to pursue acting and modeling. I mean, I've put plenty of time and money into it. But I mean, books, yeah, it's interesting, it's cool, but can you imagine me writing something like this, right? And the thing is that
That's why the writing takes time. That's why you have the fallback plan. So you're still sitting there earning money while you're still sitting there focused on your main dream of sitting there writing a book, like writing the series that I was talking about, which you can start off by describing like what's going on with like this detective finding all these murdered bodies,
the
and
detective is the
also
murderer.
trying to find out who the murderer is, because later on in the story the reader finds out that he's the murderer because someone in the bureau found out that he's actually sitting there murdering them and found evidence, and now he's on the run, gets hit, and is now in a dream state where he's in this isekai world and gains all these abilities and powers, which he when he goes back to his normal world that now is in a reverse isekai, you can sit there and make it to where he slowly regains the power he gained in that isekai world, slowly but surely, and basically have all these different genres build on each other. Go
Yes,
from a murder mystery to an isekai murder mystery type thing to a reverse isekai with all these others,
to a
like
romance.
and then add a bit of romance in there because he finds someone who's as crazy as them.
No, and that's fine. I think that's all great,
Because
but
I saw a series where this person was sitting here stalking their crush, but turns out their crush is also sitting there having a crush on them, and they're both like real psychopaths. And it was an amazing book that I read, and it was just like amazing, perfectly written, sitting there. It was just amazing.
I just
Having two psychopaths sitting there trying to date each other, it's just like, you better not look at someone else, and they're just like, you better not look at someone else, or I will kill whoever is looking at you. And it's just amazing. Like, you can take all these different genres and put them together, and then when you make it into like a actual series that you are sitting there directing, you can sit here and add all these different aspects from the book and showing all of what actually is sitting there happening. You can have it be gruesome at the very beginning, turn it into more of a bit of a wholesome thing, into gruesome with wholesome with a psychopathic wife, and it's amazing.
so I think it's interesting because I have no gosh dang clue why the hell you're telling me this and why you are so ambitious about this idea. Because you keep wanting to talk and talk and talk about it, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. You're bringing great ideas. But in my opinion, why wouldn't you do that? Why should I do that? I don't know.
I sit down for a long enough time.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true. I have trouble sitting there and keeping concentration for
There you
long
go.
periods of time. And sitting down there and trying to write the entire thing, I would get way too bored, forget about it, and project's now scrapped.
If you become
Unlike
passionate about it, you'll do it.
you, unlike you, even if you are sitting there getting bored from it, you'll still sit there and push through it and finish it.
This is true. But I've never been one to enjoy reading. I've never been one to enjoy writing. I've never been one to do that. Well, I mean, I enjoy writing now, poetry, and I write content sometimes.
If we could, and what we could do is we can both sit there and be someone who's sitting there writing the book together. We both can be put down as both the writers and like the people who are sitting there drawing the pictures and doing all the art and stuff by ourselves and basically making these two books ourselves.
Maybe, maybe not. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just afraid to go down that way because I've already committed myself to being acting and model.
It might just be that the fact that you're more afraid that has a bigger chance of failing than acting and modeling.
Well, it's
Yeah,
true.
acting and modeling has a chance of failing, but there's a higher chance of a book writer failing than a model and an actor.
This is very, 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 very true. And so,
'Cause some people who say, "Oh, I'm not afraid of failure," still have like a part in their heart that is actually afraid of failing, and so unconsciously they're sitting here not truly striving for what they want, because your true goal might just actually sit there and be a writer, but you're more like the reason why you're just like, I don't know if I can actually sit here and do it, because you just are like afraid and just don't fully know it. There's so many different things.
so what if acting is my backup plan?
Then what you can do is, besides being an actor, is you can sit there and while promoting yourself for acting, you can also still sit there and be sitting there thinking of your own script for a movie
See, I completely
or
agree.
making a book. Because with acting, you get to learn a lot about like the actual production of movies. So some actors can actually sit there and go from acting to producing. It's not often heard because a lot of people don't make a lot of money from like sitting there producing movies because they have a high chance of failing and a high cost of being made, depending on what you're using, who you're paying, and all this other stuff. There's still the chance of failure. That's why sitting there going from like a book and having it produce and be like well known and adding like a couple more books to the series and then maybe going for that movie adaptation or series adaptation can go from good or bad, but you will have a higher chance of succeeding
Here's
than
how
if
I
you just
view it.
produce the movie.
Of course, of course. And I definitely want to produce my own movies and have my own production company. But here's how I see it. If modeling and acting is my backup plan, quote unquote, and writing is the main course, let's say, then modeling and acting also, I can leverage modeling and acting as an opportunity to gain awareness of who I am, myself, my brand, so then I can leverage the people who know me, the views, my fame, right? I leverage that so then when I have a book, it explodes because people want to read my stuff, right? Same thing with like Kevin Hart, for example. He has plenty of books, he's started plenty of businesses, and they only have worked because he is already well known. Same
Yes.
concept.
And like going from basically doing acting and stuff like that and then going into writing a book, you'll have a higher chance of succeeding because you're already more out there and known. They're gonna sit there and be like, oh, this is a really good book. And then because you're also an actor, you can take down a bit of the cost of like sitting there producing it as a series by being one of the actors yourself. and basically having the main character
Like Adam
be
Sandler.
you in the series.
Like Adam Sandler with his own production company.
So, and then sitting there, having your own production company, which then goes into sitting there producing the series, and then you guys might make more other series, other movies or genres like that. And one way you can always succeed, because something that a lot of people don't realize is adding tons of different genres together. Yes, it is hard to do, but if you can do it well enough, you can make a perfectly good series. Like violence and romance, those went pretty well for the series that I looked at. And sitting there going from like a more murder mystery, like anime type thing, so you can sit there and go into a more of a like a murder mystery. Like murder mystery will kind of like fade because it's more of an isekai world, so it's technically not murder. It's more of just a natural thing that happens in that world. And then going back, he has all this new abilities to sit here and make sure he's never caught again. Also finding himself a wife or something who's also as crazy as him. And all these other genres you can sit here and add together to make boom, perfect thing. Because you can make it a non-fiction with a bit of fiction in there, basically having some actual true facts about like some murders and stuff, and like what would actually like sit there and go through like the officers' brains while sitting here trying to find out who the murderer is. And then still having your fiction part by going into these fantasy world. It would be out of nowhere, so it'd be like, whoa, what is going on? And then seeing that, it was just more of like a dream state where he's now in this third book is now gaining all of these powers that he had in this previous dream state and gaining them back and becoming powerful, getting a wife. And then when the fourth book comes around, that's when it's just like, all right, what do? We gotta find something that we can sit there and leave it off on, or we end the series there and make something new.
So, have you figured out what you want to do in life? Because you have all of this creativity, and you can become
All
a
I know
creative.
for sure is if wherever I work for, like if I'm working for a company, I'm taking night shifts.
You don't have to work for a company, William. Like me.
Yeah, I understand, but even if I'm going to sit there and go and start my own company or something like that, going and working for a normal company, you first and foremost, you're learning skills from that job that you can sit there and take to the job. Like, let's say you're going to go create your own company. If you're sitting here working in this company, you're sitting there doing well, you're learning how, oh, this is how they're sitting here and operating. That's cool. And then going to another place and seeing how they operate, take the pros and then like the cons, and seeing what went well here and then seeing what bad was there, trying to, when making your business, taking the pros that you saw in both companies, adding them together, taking the cons that you saw in them, and trying to get rid of them while making this better business.
I completely agree.
And while you're sitting there working for those companies, you're also getting paid. So you're sitting there saving that money up so you have money to sit there and invest in this business.
I completely agree, William. I'm just stating that, sure, I might have a plan to start businesses, get real estate, become a model and actor, and become a writer and producer, and have multiple businesses, right? I have a lot of creative outlets, right? Creativity with social media and all of these other things. And you have the creativity to be a creative and not a consumer. And I just want to help you find out what you want to do for your future, right? So let's say my exact plan is to be a model for the next few years, transfer into acting, and then as an actor transfer into the business side of everything, produce movies, so on, write scripts, and again, just continue moving forward. But that's all creative outlets. Those are all very creative. It's not a consumption base. It's not working a 9 to 5 job. And so you have the creative mind and the creative mentality to become someone worth of value with skill, to have creativity. So I want to help you figure out what you are going to do with your life. You need to figure out a plan now so you can start executing on it. So what kind of creative outlet do you want? You're talking about books and you seem very excited about books. You could be a writer.
No, I would never sit there and write a book.
Okay. Okay. You could be an actor. You could, I mean, these are not the only outlets. I mean, you could start businesses. These are just you have everything I listed are the things I'm doing. You can take a step out of that and do your own thing. It doesn't matter what you do. But I want to help you figure out what you're going to do with your life so you can start taking steps to get there today. Because it's not going to happen overnight, right? I mean, you see my progress. I'm not super successful yet, right? It takes months upon years to get there. So if you start taking those steps right now, you will get there sooner. 2 years down the line, you'll be 18 and you'll be more successful than me if you start taking steps right now.
Hey, Michael, I'm gonna have to be having to end it here soon because my battery's almost dead.
Oh, no worries. We can just end it right here. So, next episode, I want you to start thinking about and giving me ideas of things you want to do, okay? We're going to hold you accountable.
Probably not happen due to the fact that I will probably never know what I'm truly wanting to do.
Sure. You'll figure it out. I know you will. It'll just come to you. It'll come to you. You'll figure it out. But anyway, William, love you. I'll talk to you eventually. Goodbye.
Adios, amigos.